Hi, I'm Aaron and I'm the founder of ChurchCap. ChurchCap is a free open source software for hard of hearing and multilingual individuals. ChurchCap runs on macOS, Windows and Linux. Simply install it on a machine of your choice and start the software. Okay, so let's have a look at the dashboard. When you first boot up the software, you will have a dashboard that looks like this. Simply select the microphone or audio interface that you are going to be using. I'll select the computer microphone and save the input. Simply start the captions. When you start the captions, the program will listen and will put out the text accordingly. Okay, that's great. How does someone connect to this? Well, there's an audience and OBS page which allows you to view the QR codes. You just need to focus on this one. The second one is a failover in case there are issues with the host name or the usual way of connecting to ChurchCap. The congregation will need to be on the same Wi-Fi network or have the appropriate firewall rules for access. There is a download QR code button if you wish to print out some flyers or display it on the screen at the front. Simply grab your phone and open the camera app. Then scan the QR code. The user should see a web page like this, and of course you can see the text live. Now the previous text is where I have messed up, so please ignore that. The members can change the theme, so it has dark mode and light mode, change the size of the text, show a transcript, and of course activate comfort mode. Now there is an option to select a different language if languages are installed and or enabled, and if there is a language that is not enabled, then the user can simply request a language by selecting the request button. On the operator side, there is an accept or reject request. Once accepted, wait a second, or it was pretty much instant in this case, and select the language. And when they select a language, they should see it in their native language. What if you like to stream online? Well, there is an OBS plugin with simple instructions. It is basically just an overlay that you put on OBS. And of course, it looks like this, assuming that the white background will be your OBS feed, of course. But what if people don't have a phone or don't want to use a phone and you have displays nearby? Well, you can also display this on a physical display if you wish. Probably not going to be the usual scenario, but it is an option. It is important to note that at the time of recording, the live stream and the displays only support English. At ChurchCap, we take privacy and security very seriously, so there is transcript retention mechanisms. You can choose how long you wish to retain the transcript, and you'll be pleased to know that it is encrypted, although the de-encryption key is stored right next to the file. But at least it is encrypted at rest. As usual, nothing gets sent to the internet, and this is all completely offline, with the exception of software updates, of course. If you wish, you don't have to retain any history at all, and you can just simply save the settings like so. So what happens if you don't enable the transcript? Well, if you try to view the transcript, then it will have this message here. What if you're a bit of a smaller church and have a lot of responsibility and you want to control this at the pulpit? Well, there is something called Service Leader. Simply start a parent session, grab the phone, scan the QR code, and you will be greeted with this page here. This is kind of like the operator dashboard, but a bit watered down, but it's intentionally like that. Here you can of course start and stop the captions, and one feature I haven't mentioned is if there's a sensitive moment, then you can simply activate that, and what it will do is it will pause the captions. This is useful for live streams or other scenarios where GDPR rules apply and you don't want to share some sensitive information for whatever reason that applies. And of course you can simply re-enable the captions. Here you will have a QR code section which you can share with the congregation. You can create a QR code, then download it onto your device, and of course share it in whichever ways you choose to share it. You can also get access to logs if you wish to do so, although please note that given that it's offline, it's pretty much impossible to encrypt the traffic using HTTPS because it requires certificates, which doesn't work nicely unless you are using managed devices. So ensure that you are on a secure private network before downloading any logs. You'll be pleased to know that sensitive information should not be contained in the logs, but do take care before sharing it on GitHub or any other places online. You can also view the caption performance, select the microphone on the caption computer, and of course there are some language controls. Once you're done, simply disconnect, and that's it. One thing to note, if you have a bit more of a weaker or more powerful system, then you can fine-tune the captions on the dashboard section on the operator page. Simply drag this slider left or right, although I do recommend having it in the middle or selecting the apply recommended settings. Again, nothing gets sent to the internet, and the software will determine the best settings based on your computer specifications. This is the language dashboard. You can choose the language packages that you like to use. I suggest using the recommended package since it uses up less resources on the system. Plus, it also works with CPU based systems. Although if you're running this on a GPU, then the PyTorch package might be a bit better for that. Of course, if you don't want translation, then you can turn that off, and the languages will not be shown on the client side. There is also an advanced language control section, which allows you to enable or disable the language requests in case you're getting too many requests, or if you don't want that feature enabled. And you can manually search and enable and disable specific languages. So this is pretty much the ChurchCap software. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this insightful and useful. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments down below or send me an email using info@churchcap.org. Thanks for watching, enjoy the rest of your day, and God bless.